Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Coyote Chris Does Some Medicine Songs because, as I said in a post on Facebook a while back, I'm getting bored. So, oh goodness, there's more crap on my. Everybody can all see my bookcase and stuff looks all ratty and shit, but that's kind of the way it is in my world. So, yeah, I just thought I'd go live. This is the first time I've ever done this, and so it's kind of an experiment. And so I'm looking at all the angles and see what the picture looks like and things like that. And this is something that maybe I can do every once in a while, if people would like. See, I've got my sash on, my beads, and my altar on top of my head. This is Sissiwa's tradition of the Pacific Northwest coast. I'm not going to go into it a whole lot, but the medicine colors are white, light blue, which is some light blue on my beads, and there's some red right here. And so really just wanted to do some medicine songs, talk a little bit about it. There's so much fear and everything going on in the world right now, and understandably so. These are difficult and weird times, but I think that spiritually, our spiritual paths can get us through times like this. And so I'm just kind of doing my part. I see everybody posting really cool music stuff, and and it's just from like just people that are these superstars, Elton John and Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood and all these other people putting all this live stuff out there, and that's really neat. And so I've seen some other friends doing stuff like playing guitar and whatnot. Just I've never seen people that I knew. I'd never seen them do it before. So as many of you may or may not know, I'm Coyote Chris Sutton, and I do paranormal work. I do spiritual work, medicine work. I said before, I'm part of I follow the Sissiwa's medicine tradition, which is from the Pacific Northwest coast of the United States and up there into Canada as well. And I came to this medicine like 20 years ago. Before that, I studied Lakota medicine traditions, and this is really works well for me. But there's so many different facets of medicine tradition that would take a whole long time to talk about. But basically, one thing that I always try to convey from our medicine tradition is that we believe everybody has medicine. Everybody has a gift from spirit, a gift from God, whatever you want to put it. And the difficult thing about it is finding out what it is. And it took me a long time, and I needed several kicks in the butt to get that to happen. And so now I walk my spiritual path, and I do the things that I'm supposed to be doing, or I try to. But now, we've been given this time to be alone and to be away from other people. And that's very difficult for us to do as human beings. We're social animals. But now's a very good time to look inside yourself and look at the medicine and, look at yourself and see, what have I got inside of me? What is God, what is Spirit given me to do to help other people? And it's a perfect time. Meditate on it, think on it. I go for walks every day. And and I'm still learning things after 26 years. And so now's a good time to do that kind of stuff, is to look at yourself and look at what your gifts, what you can do, for other people. Maybe you can get on YouTube or Facebook or something like that and sing or talk or whatever, whatever your medicine is, and share it with others. And that's the thing. It's meant to be shared. It's not meant to be kept to yourself. Now, the first thing you do when you find out your medicine is you don't go running around and using your medicine. You heal yourself first, because we're all human beings and we all got things inside of us that need to be healed. And so, that's a good time to think about that and look into that and see what you can do. And then once you become healed, then you can go out and you help other folks. And a lot of us have been wounded real bad. I know that. I was wounded real bad. And some people say the best healers are the ones that were hurt the most themselves. And so that's why, things happen to us, is so that, we can extend our hand next time to the person who's going through the same stuff we went through. Well, that's my sermon for tonight. So now I promised some medicine songs, and I'm going to do those. And this will probably last about, 20 minutes, half hour. I didn't plan on being on real long. I didn't have a long, this came to mind last night. And something from YouTube popped up about go live or something like that. I'm like, oh, wait, there's an idea. So I'm using my, my laptop camera, and I got my good speaker out, my good microphone out, and stuff like that. But this is, like I said, this is the first time this experiment. We'll probably go more from here, and hopefully get a better background too. I didn't realize the picture would be this big, so that's part of the experimentation. So if you thank you, Spirica. Yes, peace, love, and light. Please, if you can't hear me, if I'm too loud. I mean, I've got an earpiece in. It's sort of like acts like a monitor, and so let me know. Say, hey, Coyote, it's too loud or it's too soft or whatever. So, okay, here we go. Now, the first song is a potlatch song. Now, I will say, I'm gonna do a selfless plug here. Crap all over my desk. Most of these songs, except for the first one I'm going to sing, is from my CD, Coyote Chris Sutton, Bringing Light to the Darkest Places. It's got a back on it too. My friend Jared Boots drew that and used that for that. I usually sell those when I go off to events and things like that, but there's no events right now because we're needing to hunker down. So, give me, you can always contact me. My web designer is supposed to be putting in a merch page when he can get out of the cow field long enough to do it. So, if you know my web designer is Wes Forsyth, who's a cattle farmer. So, but he's a good friend and a good designer. So, hopefully, I'll have those on. I'll have those on my website, www.coyotechris.com. So, anyway, okay, let me back up a little bit here. A potlatch song is sung usually a lot of time at feasting times and things like that. It's about giving away. So, to me, I like to oftentimes start a talk or something, anything, a circle or anything like that with this song because it's about sharing. And I'm sharing what I know to y'all listening out there watching. And so, and it's also, a potlatch is also about sometimes when things get really bad and say you've had, disaster in your family and you want to start over. In the old traditions, you gave all your stuff away, cleared out your house, put everything out, gave it to your neighbors. But then your neighbors would turn around and give back to you. And so you could start fresh and start new again. And so that's just when a potlatch song is sung. Whoa, whoa, hey, yeah, whoa, hey, 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 whoa, hey, 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 whoa, whoa, hey, yeah, whoa. Whoa, hey, 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 whoa, whoa, hey, hey, yeah, whoa, hey, 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 whoa, hey, 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 whoa, whoa, hey, hey. Whoa, whoa, hey, 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 hey. Oh, just kind of giving the spirit back spirit. Hey, Jay, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. As songs like this, there's usually you can sense the verse in there and kind of and then you sing those 4 times. It's always 4 times. 4 is a sacred number in many of the native traditions. There's 4 colors. There's a color for every direction. And the 4 is for the directions and for all that kind of stuff. And so 4 is a sacred number. So always sing it around 4 different times. Most of the time, until somebody decides to do it different, and it does happen. Because sometimes spirit takes you in. I probably, in a traditional sense, don't sing some of these songs exactly the right way, but I gave a copy of my CD to my teacher, and he didn't have any problem with it. So yeah, it's all good. Sometimes songs are meant to be sung differently and for different ways and different occasions. So and we're out I live in Southwestern Illinois, right across from Mississippi from St. Louis, and so we're not really very close to all the circles out there. in the West Coast and whatnot. And so and we probably developed our own little flair and little style. And that's cool. That's what happens, When but it's all good with all of them. So it's all good with all of us. And everything has to be all in lockstep. And everything has to be perfect, right? With everybody wants it all the time. Sometimes you got to have your own style, your own flair, and that goes in all parts of our life. That sometimes you're just different, and you got to follow, what's in here. The next song is called the Thunderbird song, and the Thunderbird is about lightning and that sort of thing. And the hey, Justin, what's going on, buddy? The spring rains, the thunderstorms, they kind of cause a bit of a havoc, a bit of a mess, but they clean out the old stuff and make way for the spring and for the new things to grow and for things to the rest of the world to come back. And so we have to have those types of things. But I've been kind of influenced by the thunder beings and by thunder and lightning medicine and things like that. The Coyotes are kind of tied to that. In the Sioux tradition, that would be called a heyoka. No, I'm not a heyoka in the Sioux tradition. That's a whole different ballgame. I'm not only part of that because they do crazy shit, and so I don't do they have like a boiled dog ceremony. It's like, no, I don't want to be part of that. But it's kind of wild. So anyway, so next song is called the Thunderbird song, and like I said, this is a song that's very kind of dear to me. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Whoa, 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 whoa. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Whoa, 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 whoa. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Whoa, 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 whoa. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Kwe, kwe, hali. Whoa, 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 whoa. Spirit. And so, the thunder beings come to visit us a lot this time of the year, but it's part of nature. And, there's a lot of stuff going on in nature right now. So, when there's storms are coming, you gotta be like our little animal brothers and sisters. You need to hide. You need to get down your holes. You need to hunker down in the trees and let the storm pass you by while you stay safe. So there's a lesson there too that the thunder beings also bring us. Sometimes things will happen like they're happening now. Stay in, stay safe. Be like, watch nature. Those guys go to ground. They see the thunder beings coming. So, we got a storm of our own going right now. So, go to ground, my brothers and sisters. The next song, this is a song I use a lot. 2 or 3 years ago, I started in my paranormal investigating. I started to drum and sing. We get everybody in a circle, drum and sing before or during an investigation, usually before. And it seems to change the atmosphere. Usually I do it outside. I've also done it inside. But the spirits, especially if you have native spirits around, seem to like it. and it really seems to seems to bring them around because they get curious. They want to hear this sort of thing because it sounds familiar. And then you let them know, you say, hey, brothers and sisters, grandmothers and grandfathers, we welcome you. We want to hear from you. You're important to us. We're sorry for what happened. And then they will communicate with you very well. And they like that. They appreciate it. And I did something like this at the Hinsdale House in New York one time. And once we got through drumming and singing, drumming started up in the hills, in the Enchanted Mountains, where there was nobody living. And so the answer is back. And so it's kind of a neat little song. It's something that's I don't know. It's the first time I heard it. I haven't known it for that long, but the first time I heard it, I really liked it. So it's a little slower. That's kind of a neat song. It's called Ihaichka. Ihaichka si sasiem Ihaichka si sasiem whoa, 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 whoa. Ihaichka si sasiem Ihaichka si sasiem oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Ihaichka si sasiem Ihaichka si sasiem oh, whoa. Ihaichka si sasiem Ihaichka si sasiem whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, you guys out in the who can hear me, how's the volume on this? Like I told you, because this is kind of like my first time. Justin or Jay, you guys can, anybody else who's is in chat or can chat me, or even if you can text me. I mean, if you're watching, but you're not, like, into the chat. So otherwise, I'm just going to keep going the way it is unless somebody tells me something. So, I can hear through the monitor, but it's hard to tell how it's going out live. Okay. The next song is a Men's Fire song, and I like it because it kind of moves fast and stuff. And so, it's basically a song about, guys getting together around the fire. I don't think they're talking about, maybe about drinking some Busch Lights or something like that. I don't know. Okay, thanks guys for the feedback. Okay, good. It's not coming back across too bad. It's like I'm a spiritual man, not a holy man necessarily. I do like to have, I like to have a little sit around the fire and have a drink, so it's all cool, But yeah, so this is the Men's Fire song. And so, like I said, it kind of moves around a little bit. It's kind of cool. So here we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. one thing you notice about these songs, they go really fast, and so I've got like 13 songs in my CD. It's like 35 minutes long, so it's kind of like going to the who was it? The guys that were punk. Shoot, um, Blitzkrieg Bop and those guys. But yeah, their songs are always so good. The concert lasted about 45 minutes, so um, that's kind of how these kind of things kind of go. Um, so yeah, there's sometimes it's a time for the slow stuff, and sometimes it's a time for the fast stuff. There's different dances. There's slower dances, faster dances. The first time I went to a powwow, and 27 years ago, 26, and that's when I first had my spiritual epiphany. Like I think the Buddhists call Satori. We have that realization. There we go, spiritual Troy Ramon. Thank you, Justin. That's right, the Ramones. I tell you, I'm getting old and starting to forget names and stuff. But yeah, thank you, Justin. Never mind. Yes, the Ramones. Actually, I was in a band one time. We played a couple of Ramones songs. They're kind of fun to play. I play bass guitar too. Um, so anyway, it's so I had gone into it was a huge powwow. So it was like the powwow national thing. They call it the Gathering of Nations now. It was back in 1993, and I think that's right. 93. Yeah, because my daughter's a year old, and so I walked into this barn. It was on it's a county fair in Watsika, Illinois, and I walked into this big barn. They had a Warriors dance going in there, and the drums were pounding. I mean, just incredible stuff. I found later it was just for veterans and their sons, and so they were the only ones that could do that, could be a part of that dance. And something happened. So I knew there was something different about the world that I didn't know about. Had one foot in the world of spirit and one foot in this world. And so that's what got me going. I said, I got to figure this out. Because that's what happens. You get that burn in your soul. You think, I got to figure this out. Somebody said one time, if a man, you should seek enlightenment like a man with his hair on fire seeks a pond. So that's kind of how I was. And it's sort of an interesting trip, and it's still an interesting trip as we go along. So this is actually, the next song is a Cedar Tree song. It's actually sung in English. Now, those are songs that really didn't have a lot of words. Now, Ihayechka song, Ihayechka means thank you. And Sisa Siem means that which is highest, God, it's great spirit, however you want to put it. Hey, Albert. Oh, yeah, dude. Okay, I think I know. Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. I've got him Albert's in the chat there. Yeah, buddy, I think I remember you. So the cedar tree songs. The cedar trees are very well. They're one of the biggest things on the Northwest Coast. The cedar trees give you clothing, give you canoes, gave you houses, gave you everything you needed. And so Grandmother Cedar Tree is one of the it's revered. All these plants, all these trees, they'll have spirits, and so you have the grandmother cedar tree. This is a song about the cedar tree, but I guess it is sung in English, which is good because most of them are sound songs or have let's shoot cedar, other languages, Squamish, which I can't speak worth a rat's butt, but I understand when I do sing the song. I understand what the words are. This is called Cedar Tree. Whoa, cedar tree, clap your hands and sing with me. Hey ya, hey, hey ya, hey, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey, hey ya, hey, hey ya, hey, hey ya, hey. Whoa, cedar tree, clap your hands and dance with me. Hey ya, hey, hey ya, hey, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, but that song is a cool little song. And it's like, you're in the old traditions, the rocks and trees, everything, and all the plants, everything has spirit to it. So anything could be a potential healer, and because the plant people heal us through their medicine powers and whatnot. So it's all out there. It's all beautiful. But that's that song just for Grandmother Cedar Tree. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting path. There's a lot of interesting, and there's so many different traditions you can learn from and things like that I have done. But mainly I've stayed with this medicine tradition, like I said, for the last 20 years, um, because it works for me. Anything you should follow should work for you. And if a certain path doesn't, if it's not working for you, if it's not getting you what you need for yourself, and then you need to look at it, it's something different. Sometimes we get shamed into following certain paths because people tell us we're supposed to. Mom and dad say we're supposed to. You got to do this, and you should feel guilty as hell if you don't. Um, no, you're the master of your life, and you can't live your life for somebody else. You've got to find out what works for you. Spiritually, professionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, all things. You got to do what's right for you. Everybody else has got a script for you they want you to follow, and you don't need to be following that stuff. You need to do what's in here, because right here, this is where spirit comes in, is through the heart. We get up in here, and it tells us all sorts of crazy shit, and you got to filter that stuff out, because we're always chalking ourselves out of something, of something we really wanted to do. And like doing this, I was like, I was kind of, because I'd never done it before, but like, what the hell, you're not going to figure it out till you get there until you try. And so that's what this is about. It's kind of hanging out. Hi, Melissa. How you doing, kid? My friend Melissa's here, Nicholson. Um, so like I said, we're just going to go about 30 minutes. We're 28 minutes and something now. And so I'm going to do one more song here. It's kind of like one before, but the words are kind of turned around a little faster. See if you might pick it up. It's got actually the same words in it. It's just a different way of singing it. Si sa siem, si sa siem, si sa siem, si sa siem. Yatch cow high, yatch cow high, yatch cow high, yatch cow high, high 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 high, high 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 high. Si sa siem, si sa siem, si sa siem, si sa siem. Yatch cow high, yatch cow high. Yatch cow high, yatch cow high, 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 high. Si sa siem, si sa siem, si sa siem, si sa siem. Yatch cow high, yatch cow high, yatch cow high, yatch cow high, 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 high. Si sa siem. Si sa siem, si sa siem, si sa siem. Yatch cow high, yatch cow high, yatch cow high, yatch cow high, 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 high. Ooh. That's si sa siem instead of e high, because si sa siem, it's si sa siem, yatch cow high. So. A lot of times the same words doing the same thing, but it's about the music, the drumming, and that's what it does was for you and does for me. And I hope this whole evening was cool for everybody. And that y'all enjoyed it. Please drop me a line if you have any suggestions or anything like that. Again, this is the Coyote Chris's experiment into live streaming YouTube, and so I got a good camera and stuff like that. I'm gonna hook up to it and stuff like that, and think this out a little bit more. But just want to fly off the cuff here, off seat my pants, and wrote down some songs to do and had at it. You guys in chat, you have any questions or anything I can do for you? Thank you. I really appreciate y'all stopping by and listening. So it's good to see everybody. Thank you all again so much for joining me. But you can find me at www.coyotechris.com. That's my website. Let's see. Coyote Chris Sutton is my like page on Facebook. You can get me through there, or through Christopher Sutton. That's my personal page. On Twitter, it's at Coyote Chris S, and it's the same on Instagram at Coyote Chris S. And so, like, again, thanks again. This is really short notice. I just started, I put it out last night and this morning. And so, it's really a pleasure of you guys for stopping by again. Get a hold of me again, Des, and some of you guys didn't see for a while, Justin and Jay and you guys. So, I was good to see you guys. Albert, Alyssa, thank you. Spirit Recon, my friend. It's good to see you guys. Thank you all very much. And hey, see you next time, I hope.